This is the story of two girls who are kidnapped by some dangerous young men and are repeatedly assaulted by them, but they do not give up. And in this story, we will see how one of them takes revenge on all of those men, one by one. At the beginning of the story, we see two beautiful girls, Caddy and Nancy, who are students of agriculture. Now they are about to go to a farm in New York to continue their studies. Because of this, both of them are very happy. They talk to each other and say that with this opportunity, they will also travel to Europe and do a lot of shopping there. The next morning, their uncle Jason comes to pick them up. He is an FBI agent. After that, when both of them go to Jason's house, they meet Jason's girlfriend there. She is very happy to see them. After arriving in this city, Caddy and Nancy also decide to change their names. Caddy chooses the name Heather, and Nancy chooses the name Ripley. The next day, Jason takes them to the bus stop because Caddy and Nancy have to go to the agriculture farm for their studies. Jason waits there with both of them for the bus to New York. But Caddy tells Jason that the bus will arrive soon and he should leave for his work. She says they will message him as soon as they arrive. Jason tells them to use a code word so he can understand that they have arrived safely. Caddy says she will use the word apple, but Jason tells them to use different words each time so no one can figure out their code. Meanwhile, two boys passing by notice Caddy and Nancy. At that moment, Jason leaves for his work. After he leaves, Caddy and Nancy go to a nearby restaurant to get some coffee. The same boys also come there. These are the same boys who saw them earlier. Their names are Jed and Lucas. They start talking to Caddy and Nancy. Caddy and Nancy tell them their names are Heather and Ripley. Caddy explains that they are going to New York for their agriculture studies. Jed says that they are going there as well. He tells them that if they want, they can come along with them. At first, Caddy refuses to go with them, but when they are about to leave, Nancy convinces Caddy to go with them, and both of them agree. However, we then see that Jed and Lucas do not take them to the farm. Instead, they take them to their house, which is right next to a forest. Seeing this, Caddy and Nancy become a little scared. They immediately tell them to drive them to the farm. At that moment, Jed and Lucas's mother comes out of the house. She warmly invites them to have some tea. She also tells them that Jed and Lucas will drop them off later. Now, while they are drinking tea, Caddy receives a message from her uncle Jason. She replies using the code word apple. Because of this, Jason believes that they have safely reached the farm. After that, Lucas's mother gives them something to eat. As soon as they eat it, Caddy and Nancy begin to feel dizzy. The food was drugged. Both of them realize that something is wrong. They try to run away from there, but after going a short distance, they lose consciousness. Jed and Lucas then pick them up and take them back to their house. The next day, when they regain consciousness, they find themselves in the forest. Their hands are tied with iron chains. Seeing this, both of them become terrified and start screaming for help. At that moment, Jed comes there and tells them that they are deep inside the forest, far away from any people. He says there is no point in screaming because no one will hear them. After a while, a man named Boris arrives there. Boris shows Caddy her phone and tells her that a man named Jason has sent her a message. He says that the last time, she replied with the word apple. He starts asking both of them what that means. Caddy tells him that apple is a code word which means that they are both safe. After that, Boris replies to Jason and writes that everything is fine. He also uses the same code word, apple. After this, they force Caddy and Nancy to take a bath in front of them. At that moment, a police officer named Sharif arrives there. When Caddy and Nancy see him, they immediately start asking him for help. But after a while, they realize that the police officer is also connected to Jed and Lucas. Seeing this, both of them become even more frightened. Now Caddy and Nancy try to explain to those men. They beg them to let them go and promise that they will not tell anyone anything. They even say that if they want, they can give them a lot of money. But those men do not listen to a single word. After that, we see the police officer take a Viagra pill and choose Caddy for himself. Later, we see the police officer coming out of Caddy's container, which makes it clear that he has assaulted her. On the other side, we see Jason. He is very worried about Caddy and Nancy because Caddy used the word apple again in the message. Meanwhile, they send a drunk man into Nancy's container. He goes inside and presses a burning cigarette onto Nancy's stomach, causing her to scream loudly. After that, he assaults Nancy as well. At this point, these men have crossed every limit of cruelty. In reality, they are forcing Caddy and Nancy into exploitation. Meanwhile, Jason calls the New York agriculture farm to ask about Caddy and Nancy. He finds out that they never arrived there even once. From this, Jason understands that they have been kidnapped and are in serious danger, so he immediately sets out to find them. Meanwhile, things continue to get worse for Caddy and Nancy. Now, before the next customer arrives, Jed and Lucas put masks on both of the girls' faces. The customer also wears a pig mask. After that, Jed and Lucas remove the masks from Caddy and Nancy's faces to show them to him. Seeing the man in the pig mask makes both of the girls even more terrified, and they start screaming loudly. The man chooses Nancy and takes her to the container, where he assaults her. After he leaves, Caddy goes to Nancy and sees that Nancy's condition has become much worse. On the other side, Jason goes to the police station and meets a police officer. This is the same officer who assaulted Caddy. Jason tells him about the kidnapping of Caddy and Nancy, and says that he is also an FBI agent. The officer asks Jason how he knows that they have been kidnapped. Jason explains that he told his niece Caddy to use the code word only once, but Caddy used the same code word again, which makes him believe that she is in serious trouble and may have been kidnapped. In the same forest, this police officer informs Boris that Caddy's uncle is an FBI agent. He also tells him that Caddy gave them false information about the code word. After this, Boris takes Jed aside, away from Caddy's container, and talks to him. He says that they need to deal with these two girls as soon as possible. Otherwise, they could get into trouble, and they also need to capture new girls coming from the city. Meanwhile, Caddy stands near her container and quietly listens to their conversation. After that, Boris goes to Caddy's container and assaults her. On the other side, Jason goes to the same restaurant where Caddy and Nancy had met those two boys. He asks the man working there about Caddy and Nancy. The man tells him about Boris's car. The next day, Caddy tells Nancy that these men are planning to kill them. Then Jed and Boris bring the same drunk man with them who had assaulted Nancy. They tell him that they will be back soon, and that he should keep a close watch on both of the girls so they do not escape. As soon as they leave, Caddy starts to lure the drunk man toward her. She provokes him and pretends to be interested in him. As she gets close to him, she suddenly bites his throat hard. Blood starts pouring out of his throat, and the drunk man dies right there. After that, both of them free their hands and hide nearby. When the police officer arrives there, they secretly take his car and escape from the place. After that, they go to a mall. There, they buy many unusual items, such as a hammer, a tennis ball, a lot of nails, and several dangerous tools. After this, they go to the cashier at the mall and ask him for the address of Boris's house. He gives them Boris's address. At the same time, Jason reaches Boris's car insurance company. There, he also gets the address of Boris's house. Meanwhile, we see Boris at his home, enjoying himself while playing music. At that moment, Caddy and Nancy arrive there. They attack him by hitting his face with a tennis ball covered in nails, which knocks him unconscious. Later, when he regains consciousness, he finds himself tied to a table. Boris offers them a lot of money to let him go, but Caddy and Nancy only want revenge. At the same time, their uncle Jason arrives outside Boris's house. Inside the house, Caddy and Nancy ask Boris for the address of the man who wore the mask. Boris gives them the address. After that, they shove a nail-filled object into him, causing him to scream loudly. Hearing the noise, Jason quickly rushes inside the house. When he enters, he sees Boris lying dead. Just then, he hears the sound of a car behind the house, but by the time he goes outside, Caddy and Nancy have already left in the car. Jason quickly returns to the police station and again asks the police officer about Caddy and Nancy. During this time, Jason tries to call Caddy. That's when he realizes that Caddy's phone is with that police officer. Before Jason can react, the officer points a gun at him from behind. On the other side, Caddy and Nancy arrive at a church. There, we discover that the man with the pig mask is actually the priest of that church. The priest sees them and suddenly recognizes them. At that moment, Caddy hits him from behind with a stick and knocks him unconscious. They tie him to the back of a car and drag him into town. There, they buy matches and gasoline from a shop. They pour gasoline on him, set him on fire, and kill him. Meanwhile, we see that the police officer has tied Jason to a chair at the station. After a while, the officer kidnaps two new girls and brings them there. As he begins to assault them, Caddy and Nancy arrive and hit him on the head with a stick, knocking him unconscious. When he regains consciousness, he finds himself tied to a chair and begins apologizing to them. Caddy loads a single bullet into the gun and starts terrifying him. She fires the gun at him again and again. Each time, he survives, so he starts to smile slightly. But in the next moment, Caddy shoots him and kills him. After that, Caddy and Nancy free the two girls and tell them to release Jason before they leave. The girls untie Jason and tell him that Caddy and Nancy asked them to do it. Jason finally understands that those two girls are Caddy and Nancy. Meanwhile, we see Jed and Lucas's mother drinking. Suddenly, she begins to feel strange and collapses, losing consciousness. Later, when she wakes up, she finds herself tied to a chair in the basement. Caddy and Nancy have also tied Jed right in front of her. Caddy and Nancy beat Jed to death with a stick in front of his mother's eyes and drop his body. Then they turn to her and brutally kill her as well, causing her to scream loudly. After that, they take her to Lucas. They hand Lucas a stick and tell him to kill his mother. They threaten him, saying that if he refuses, they will shoot him. Lucas is unable to do it, so Nancy shoots him and kills him. After this, they clean the gun and place it in Lucas's hand so that it looks like the mother and son fought each other and died. Then Lucas's mother begs Caddy and Nancy, saying that if they spare her, she can give them a lot of money. But after hearing this, Caddy and Nancy laugh. Then Caddy mercilessly kills her with a cutting machine. After a few days, we see Uncle Jason going to Caddy and Nancy's house. They are returning to New York with him, and the movie ends on this scene. So friends, if you have watched the video, to like and subscribe to the video. We will see you again with another new story.